Hi bookish friends, it's me, Michelle, here with another video. And today I'm doing a really fun tag. I was tagged by Mollie at the reading hour. Thank you so much, Mollie, for tagging me. And this tag has to do with book snobbery. It is called the SNOB-O-METER or SNOB-O-METER tag. And here we go. Let's start off with question number 1. What is your definition of book snobbery? To me, I would define book snobbery as anyone who derives a sense of superiority and maybe asserts that onto another person or projects that attitude just based on their taste in books. I don't know. For me, that's a ridiculous expression of ego is what it boils down to me. So yeah. Number 2, is there a genre or type of book you would never consider reading, such as, would you ever read romance? Or if you regularly do read romance, would you ever try a science fiction novel? My answer to that is that I would try anything once. I'd read every genre. If I had to pick something though, I would say I probably wouldn't read a middle grade or children's book. Just because, I don't know, just not as interested, I guess. That's just me. Question number 3. Does erotica count as literature? Yes. Number 4. Is it better to read classic books than popular bestsellers? No, I don't think so. I think if you limit yourself to one or the other, you are potentially missing out on something great. So yeah, I think they're just different. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. Number 5, have you ever bragged about reading a classic in order to sound smart? No. I probably wouldn't want to meet somebody who does that either, to be honest with you. Yeah. To me, bragging about being smart is the same thing as bragging about being rich. If you feel the need to brag about it, you probably aren't. So that's my feeling about that. Okay, next question is a little controversial, maybe my answer, but do audiobooks count as reading? No, I don't think they do. What about comic books or graphic novels? Yes. Audiobooks to me are listening. That said, I do appreciate the value in audiobooks. They're very necessary, and I totally understand why people enjoy them. For me, I've never been able to listen to an audiobook and enjoy it or get into the story. I don't know why. I can do a podcast. I can listen to 2 people talking about something, but audiobooks just don't work for me. Maybe the way my brain is wired, I have no idea, but yes. I don't think that they do count as reading because you're listening, you're not reading. Number 7, have you ever looked down at someone for reading a popular fluff book, a book with little substance to it, for example, a self-help book or a celebrity memoir? I would never do that. I also wouldn't consider self-help or a celebrity memoir necessarily a fluff book because I've read a lot of celebrity memoirs that are really substantial, and I've learned a lot from them. As, you know, if you put yourself in someone else's shoes, you can have a different perception of everything from how to prepare a certain dish or, you know, how to travel or what have you. There's a lot to be learned from celebrity memoirs, depending on the memoir, but I found that even ones that weren't so great, I still learned something and I still got value out of reading them. And as far as self-help books, who am I to judge somebody for reading a self-help book? They're making the effort to try and help themselves in some way. So I would never, ever look down on someone for that or criticize them. Like I said, nor do I consider that to be fluff. I don't know. A book that I would consider to be fluff would be like, I don't know, a Colleen Hoover novel. I've only read one. I read Verity and instantly regretted it. I will never read anything from her again. But even though I disliked her writing and everything about that book, I would never look down on somebody else who enjoyed that. So yeah, I just don't judge people for their reading taste is what it comes down to. Number 8. Have you ever been a recipient of someone else's snobbery? I don't know about being a recipient, what that means, but I do know a couple people. I've known a couple people in my life. One in particular I can think of who he never understood the value in reading fiction. In his opinion, this is a former friend of mine. We're not friends anymore. Surprise. But he's like, if it's not, an instruction book or a technical or a nonfiction type of a book, there's no point. And I mean, we had a few arguments. The one time he said to me, his contention was that historical fiction is not a thing. You can imagine how I reacted to that comment. So yeah, I have. If that's being on the receiving end of book snobbery, then yeah, I guess I have. So, number 9, would you ever be friends with a snob? Maybe you already are. Yeah, sure, why not? I'd be friends with a snob. I have been friends with book snobs. And I'm also not friends with that one friend in particular who was a book snob. So yeah, sure, why not? Number 10, are people who don't read less sophisticated than those people who do? This is an interesting question. First of all, how do I define what is sophisticated? To me, just having sophistication means that you are open to learning about the world. You know about culture, you can be well-traveled. And to me, traveling will give you all the same benefits as being well-read. If you're well-traveled, you likely have a good sense of worldliness and culture and different ethnicities that you've experienced in life. So I think you can be sophisticated as someone who does read, even if you don't, as long as you have compensated for your lack of reading in some other way, such as traveling the world or being open to new experiences in life. Because that's what really, to me, defines the word sophisticated. It's just somebody who knows a world outside of their own kind of thing. So my answer is no. I don't think people who don't read are necessarily less sophisticated than those who do. I do, however, think that people who don't read are at a very distinct disadvantage to those who do read. So yeah. Number 11, measure yourself. Based on your answers to the previous 10 questions, would you qualify as a book snob? Well, I would have to go back and rewatch this, but my feeling is that I'm not, just because I try and be as open-minded as possible and non-judgmental to other readers. To me, the most important thing is not so much what you're reading, but the fact that you are reading. And, another objective of me having this channel is to help promote literacy in some small way. So I think that's the main thing. As long as you're reading, I'm not going to judge you for what you're reading. So therefore, I don't think I'm really a snob. Now, I'm to tag some other people. I will tag them in the description box. If I haven't tagged you, my apologies, but go ahead and do this tag. It's a lot of fun, and I'd love to hear your answers. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.